Let's talk about P. Diddy, the whole situation with his case. And as you know, he's been found not guilty of the racketeering charges, the sex trafficking, but he has been found guilty of the prostitution because he transported Cassie and Jane Doe. He transported them with the idea of soliciting for prostitution. Now, prostitution comes in two hands. The truth of the matter is that prostitution is either you soliciting a woman or someone for sex with the idea that you will pay them in exchange for a sex act, or that you are someone that's a pimp transporting women for the idea of them providing sex to someone so that you can profit from the deed. That's the true definition. P. Diddy is not going to do any serious time. Some people predicted that he wasn't going to go to jail for a long time. Some people thought he was going to go to jail for a long time. And even though he didn't get charged for the sex trafficking and the racketeering, which is the Mann Act, well, he got hit with the Mann Act, but he didn't get hit with something that we see as RICO, right? People are saying FRICO, but not RICO. So a lot of black people are coming out of the woodworks and supporting P. Diddy because he's not going to jail. He somehow beat the system. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this man is no hero to the black community. We forget the nasty things that he did when he was running Bad Boy Records. Have we forgotten the people, the rappers, the entertainers that have come out and have told us about how P. Diddy gets down, how nasty he is, the things that he does? Have we forgotten about that? And have we forgotten that, especially I'm talking to men right now, if P. Diddy was doing these things to your daughter, could you support this man? Would you be cheering the fact that he's not going to go to jail for a long time? Would you be in support of that if this man had did this to your child? And of course, someone's going to say, well, these were grown women they knew they were getting into. True, but you can also be manipulated by somebody who's got money, power, and fame like P. Diddy. See, he took advantage of his position as an entertainer to take advantage of women. And even if he didn't get convicted of the sex trafficking or the racketeering, it still doesn't change the fact that P. Diddy took advantage of these women. Now remember...
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them.
When Cassie first came out, and she said that P. Diddy had beat her, had put hands on her, nobody believed her because she took a settlement.
Aimed exclusively by CNN, appears to corroborate some of the allegations of abuse against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs assaulting his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hallway at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016. A lawsuit filed by Ventura in November last year and settled the next day referenced actions that seem to match those seen in this video. There is no audio. According to the complaint, Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye, which according to the lawsuit, prompted Ventura to try and leave the hotel room. The surveillance video obtained by CNN begins as she enters the hallway. The complaint says as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. The complaint goes on to say he grabbed her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her. In the surveillance video, Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground. As Ventura lies on the ground, Combs then kicks her twice and attempts to drag her on the floor back to the hotel room. Ventura...
No one believed her because of the settlement that she took early on. But we forget that it was the feds that still picked up her case even if she didn't want to go forward in a court case, or even if she got a payoff Because P. Diddy didn't want anybody to know about his true character, what he did. That's why he paid off that security guy or the worker at the hotel so that there would never be a videotape for any of us to see. And when that videotape came out, we saw the true character of the man P. Diddy. So why would any of us at this point in time sit up here and cheer P. Diddy's case on as a victorious win? Because he's a black man. This black man, if you do go down his history, has treated black people poorly that he has dealt with over the years. Have we forgotten about that? Have we forgotten about the tons of people who have come out and spoken about this man's behavior, his deeds? Have we forgotten about people that have claimed that when they've gone to his party that they felt weird because they felt like their drinks were played with, maybe spiked in some kind of way? Have we forgotten that people have talked about that? Have come out on podcasts and spoke about these things? So even though P. Diddy is not going to do any serious time, it doesn't make him a man of character. It does not make him a man of character. It does not make him a man of principle, but a man who takes advantage of other people any way that he sees fit. That's what we have to understand here. People like Boosie, who is telling us that he's tired of moguls like P. Diddy being under the gun of the legal system. How about these black celebrities like P. Diddy stop doing things that put them in the microscope to be put in?
Man, I'm so glad Diddy free, bro. You know, the reason is because I'm tired of seeing us black moguls get took down like that, bro. And I'm tired of seeing us black people go against us black moguls like that. And I feel like if Diddy was a white man who done all this shit for people, you know, I know he ain't paid people, but he done all this shit for hip hop. If he was white, they would have had so many white people out there protesting for this man losing his life behind a relationship, you know. And people always, Boosie was on Diddy's side. Nah, it ain't that. It's because I'm thinking about 7 children. Y'all thinking about one person. I'm thinking about these 7 kids who been in my kid's position. Not knowing if your daddy gonna come home or not is a burden on the child. So all y'all was like, no, I'm thinking about them damn children, man. So man, I'm glad he free, bro. You know, like I've been said, I don't feel he was guilty of nothing. You know, nothing but domestic violence. You know, but the court spoke, man, and man, I'm happy that dude children, man. I know his feeling right now. So I'm just happy for them children, man. You know, Diddy, sit your ass down somewhere. That's what you need to do. Grab Stevie J and your children and get the fuck out.
Go in prison or go to court. How about can we stop that behavior? And just maybe you wouldn't see these black moguls being targeted. But this is the thing. I want to say this. P. Diddy is not the only one who deserved to be on trial or go to jail potentially, because you got to think about Clyde Davis. Clyde Davis was connected to the mob in the music industry. He did a lot of shady stuff. We forget that we got Russell Simmons hiding out over there in Bowie, who should also be under indictment. There's a bunch of people who should have been in a courtroom with P. Diddy under these indictments. A bunch of people. But it didn't happen that way. It just so happened that P. Diddy, it came back on him. And what this shows you is what goes around comes around. And sometimes when you put out bad energy into the universe, bad things can come back on you. I'm here to tell you that we should not be sitting up here using P. Diddy as a poster child of being triumphant over the legal system. Another thing that I found very despicable is during the trial, you had grown-ass black men dousing each other with baby oil. In celebration of this man not getting the heaviest charges. And I thought that was weird. I thought that was so weird, and I said to myself, what the hell is going on? You got grown black men. Personally, I thought maybe these guys must be of the LGBTQ persuasion, because straight black men are not going to behave like this, putting baby oil on one another in celebration of P. Diddy's victory in the courtroom. Now, he's got 10 years. The maximum is a 10-year sentence. They got him for moving Cassie Ventura and Jane Doe, transporting them, and therefore they got him on the prostitution right there. Now, what I'm hearing on social media right now is that I'm hearing people say things like, hey man, if you fly a woman out, you can get in trouble for prostitution. No, if you fly a young lady out to see you, that you're having relations with, or that you're kicking it with, and you having a good time with her, that's not prostitution. Hell, as men, we spend money on women all the time, taking them out to dinner, to movies, to parties, social events, women that we're dating and getting to know, and sometimes sex does happen. Doesn't necessarily mean that I've solicited her for prostitution. Again, prostitution is when you are profiting like a pimp from women engaging in sex acts, or you are soliciting that woman only for sex, and both of you are on the same page with it, meaning you're telling her what you want. You're not looking for a relationship, you're just looking to use her, or you got people that use escort services. P. Diddy, although he did not get racketeering charges or the sex trafficking, he still put himself in this situation. Now, people are talking about his kids. Bootsy was talking about, well, you know, he got kids and all this sort of stuff. This is the thing with these celebrities. If they cared about their kids, if you care about your kids, men, don't put yourself in a situation like this to be taken away from your kids and put in a prison or jail cell where you're fighting for your life over some bullshit. Don't put yourself in that situation. P. Diddy put himself in this situation. No matter how much we want to cry the system was against him, P. Diddy did this to himself. Of course, the judge in the case has dropped the idea that he's going to get out on a bail. There's rumors out there that there's a young lady, I guess someone he used to be involved with, who's kind of afraid of him being out, or the potential of him being out free. And the rumor is that she went to the judge, or wrote a letter to the judge pleading that he does not get bail after being acquitted of some of the charges, some of the most heaviest charges that would put him in prison for the rest of his life. Point blank. And if you are a black man and you have a daughter, there's no way you can look at this man as some type of hero because he beat the system, or that he's not going to jail for the rest of his life. Because at the end of the day, if he had touched your child, did these things with your child, can you truly tell me you would be supportive of P. Diddy? Now, people are going to use the typical thing, oh, you're putting a black man down, the system's against a black man. Well, this black man, P. Diddy, didn't treat black people very well. So I'm supposed to feel happy for him because he didn't get the heaviest charges. I'm supposed to cheer for his situation now because he didn't get the heaviest charge. A man who did horrible things to black folks. You gotta be out of your eye. You're out of your mind. You gotta be out of your mind. This is Truth Media Vlogs.